Hello people, and welcome back to part 27 of Noveria, our Cities Skylines snow build. Hope you're all having a wonderful day, and thank you for all the support last time. You guys really enjoyed our little ski slope build in the Noveria Mountain Ski Resort. Came together quite nice, didn't it? I'm a huge fan. Oh, lost a bit of power. That's that's fine. This keeps happening to the city. We keep losing power every now and again. I'm not sure why. Is it something to do with the dam? Possibly. Well, actually, you know what it might be? Yeah, the water's going a little bit mad, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's flooding down here. Okay, yeah, that's probably why. Okay, I think we figured out the power issue. I think it's the dam that's freaking out a little bit. However, in today's episode, we have to sort out an issue that has raised its head in Noveria recently. So we'll fly over to our wonderful commercial waterfront here, and if we pop our UI back on, we are getting this little symbol here, which is not enough goods to sell. And this is heavily impacted by the fact that Noveria has basically zero generic industry at the minute. If we pop on our zoning view, we can see that it's all residential and commercial, and all of the industrial demand is satisfied by this little office park over here. And of course, our three main industrial areas of the oil fields, the farm, and the forestry. So, there is one way we can fix this, and we are going to fix it with tinned fish. Funnily enough, which is not something I thought I would ever say. And the Granddaddy Biffer has recently put out a video of how to fix the goods issue with a fishing build, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to build a significant fishing marina to accompany Carina Marina over on the south bank of the river over here. So I'd initially marked this out for a generic industrial build, but just because of the way the city is at the minute, we have no generic industry and we can't allow this problem to get any worse, otherwise this whole waterfront will start to abandon, and it's not good. So we're going to produce a lot of tinned fish, and this will fix our goods problem. And it's actually kind of hilarious, because you're going to come to this really rich, luxurious commercial waterfront, and all you can buy is John West kind of tinned tuna. So a little bit funny, but we'll see what we can do today, right? So nice big massive land to work with, got rail connections, highways nearby. Let's build a fishing marina, shall we? Okay, so first of all we need to have a discussion about what exactly is going to happen with the infrastructure here, because there's a few important things to note. We are about to dump a whole bunch of industrial traffic into this area, and currently the only way in and out is this road here. Now this roundabout's already pretty busy, and we're going to have to sink this rail line now. I think it's just getting to the point where it's just too much. So we'll start out with this. Let's go ahead and sink this rail line, and then we'll hopefully have a little more freedom through this road network here. Okay, so that should do it. Oh dear, that's not good, is it? Slight derailment, but everyone seems to be okay. We also want to adjust the junction here as well. That comes out of the University Transport Hub. I'm going to knock off the traffic lights, come off our road here. So the junctions, not the traffic off, and stick a giveaway sign here as well. I want to give priority to the arterial. So it's a little bit of a kink, isn't it? We can probably sort this out in our D10 time lapse though. Or elevate it here a little bit, but it should be fine. Either way, the train traffic is going to be a lot smoother. Oh, and it's snowing. Great. Wonderful. That's always fun to deal with, isn't it? Okay, so now we have that sorted. This is going to free up this road network over here a lot more. However, I also want to make a little service interchange over here as well for the highway, so they have direct access onto it. So I'm not massive at these, but I've done a little bit of testing, and I think I've got a nice little design in mind. So let's come up by 15 tiles with an arterial, and then we're going to grab a one-way industrial, come off the road guideline, at least for the start. And we want road length on, so we want curve tool as well. With road length, we're going to come up by 7 tiles, so that'll be 5, 6, and 7. And then just repeat this. Okay, so I've just quickly sorted this out off camera. It's a little bit awkward. I don't think it's too bad, right? Again, I'm not great with highways, but it's it should do us a job for right now, okay? So now we want to have a look at terraforming. So we'll have a look at fishing. And the main fish here is salmon. Salmon are very much winning at the fight over the anchovies. So we want to make sure that we terraform out to that height, because I do want to have salmon in here. Now this is going to be a big old terraforming job, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. So we know that this point right here, where it's at its flattest point, this is where the salmon will spawn. So we'll have that in. We also want to make sure we clear that bank into the opening of the main body of water as well. There we go. So I think before we do let the water fill up, we're going to have a little rework of the national rail line here. I want it to run a little bit straighter. I don't want that curve in it because it's going to affect our asset orientation. So we'll come out from this direction to make sure that we are snapping just to our angle. Will help with placement. Okay, that's going to be fine. And there should be a nice little connection back under. Cool. So that's going to give us a nice straight bit of rail to work with, which will help us with aligning our industrial road against that with the road guideline. So of course we want to bear in our decoration palettes for the episode. So let's bring that in, and we can possibly discuss already, if we dare, a little bit of ore industry fence to sit between the arterial and the rail. Alright. I think we can get away with that aesthetic, right? So even this isn't like a generic industrial area like we initially planned it out to be, it's still important that we maintain some of those rather industrious vibes. And then we can hopefully just get a nice straight run down here. Slight curve in the bridge, but don't particularly mind that. Okay. And then we might trim off a tiny little bit of this, and then let's just go ahead and give a very basic connection into this arterial right now, just so we know what's going to happen. I think we'll probably put a cargo train station here. Alright. But this is going to be the base for our marina, right? This is the base road frame. Now there is some assets that we have to discuss orientation before we even get into terraforming. And this is the fish factory. This is what's going to produce the tinned goods for us alongside the fish market. We do have a fish market over here. So of course we can have a little chat about how these are going to sit. So we'll place it in here. Drop a road behind. We will totally and completely box this in. Flip it around. Very nice. And let's maybe go for two, alright? Let's have two fish factories in here. Again, using them to decorate the arterial road. See, we get kind of the warehouse vibe and these little jagged fences. All helps decorate the main road, right? This is why we love asset orientation. We absolutely live for it. It's great. Alright, cool. So of course we want these to be a one-way industrial road. As always with any industrial area, we want to be using one-way systems to keep everyone happy. We'll worry about the direction once we kind of know where the fishing marinas are going to sit. But for right now, we'll just have our little fish factories right there. Now let's start bringing down this dirt road. We'll also want to connect this into the fish factories as well. And we can probably draw this one up and out here too. So we start building the frame around our assets, okay? So now we have all those main roads placed, we can now start bringing in these dirt road frames in order to help us terraform. So that's going to be fine. I'm not worried about the mismatch zoning here. You can see where it's not quite aligned. There's going to be very little, if any, zoning around here, so we don't really have to worry about that. And then maybe one over here as well. And then let's start terraforming into these frames if we can. Does look like the salmon are winning the battle. Oh, a little pocket of anchovies has spawned, but we should be okay. Is the river shallower here? Yes, it is. If you don't know, you can actually affect what type of fish spawn by terraforming. You can see the ocean's full of shellfish at the main river here. Oh, there's that power issue again. You okay? It happens every episode now. I'm sure it's the dam that's causing it. The abandonment here, by the way, is because of the goods issue. This is what we're fixing today, right? Okay. So, let's come back into our terraforming, come back into a smaller brush, and then just tidy up with the small brush size a few of these little awkward bits that I've just come through from our initial terraforming down here as well. Okay, now we have those dirt road frames in. Let's come into our keys and grab our walkable seawall. And I think this is the one we want to use. I'm quite keen to get into using maybe some of the wide ones, but probably not here. We'll just go for regular walkable seawall. And then we'll start aligning these with the road guidelines of the dirt road. So it does just take a little bit of arsing about with the terraforming to get this to read. Be on the PC, play with Key Anarchy, save yourself the headache. There we go, that's what we want, right? And then the same again on this side. So space occupied, that's fine. Let's knock it back. And then we can bring it down here. Wonderful. So that's going to key off all of that little marina. Now take away all of those dirt road frames. Just having that road guideline helps most of the time. I think it's kind of map dependent, right? It depends. Depends what mood Cities Skylines is in. Okay, so it looks as though the anchovies are actually winning the Battle of the Rivers. Karina Marina is getting a damn good scene too with the water. So sorry, it's okay, don't worry about that. Yeah, the goods issue is now starting to spread over to Minor Square as well. We're getting abandonment here, and even over this side of the river. So goods are a serious issue. Tinned fish to the rescue, hopefully. Okay, so now let's analyse what fish have come in. So we have salmon available down this side of the river. There is a little bit of shellfish, but not enough to farm it. And then there's a ton of anchovies over here. So why don't we go for a little mix and match salmon. Oh, hold on. Looks like the shellfish are multiplying. So I think we'll go for a combination of anchovy harbours and a couple of salmon harbours as well. I think we'll go for... Do we want to do two? Oh, we are getting the dodgy terraforming. Okay, let's fix this. We'll kind of go over how to fix this when that happens. So if you're getting that little weird lip, it's just because the terraform is too close to the key when we place it. So we just want to terraform out a little bit of land off the lip of the key. Let's take some of that soil back from the mountain. And then this will just level it all out for us. So just come in like that. That should be okay. And then this should allow us to place in the anchovy fish farms without the little lip on the road. There we go. And then you just re-terraform it back. So let's make sure we're happy with our placement. Let's come off of this one. Let's go in there. Have another one there. And then throw in a salmon harbour over here. Once the water calms down, there we go. So I think that'll be okay. I think I'm happy with 3 main piers. We'll probably throw in another one over here as well on this side. But now I want to come into slope and then just push all of this back so it's not sticking out of the key. Again, too much soil. Just dump some out. There we go. And then terraform it all the way. Very nice. Okay, so now come into our one-way industrial roads again. And we can now feed the one-way system into the salmon harbours and the anchovy harbours as well. Let's keep everyone flowing. That's what we want. And then once that water subsides, we should be good. It's slightly annoying that doesn't align, does it? Is this literally off by the kind of the same distance? Oh, it is as well, isn't it? Okay. Let's relocate this so it centralizes, otherwise that's going to wind me up. It's going to work a little bit nicer, isn't it? Awesome. Fantastic. So all these will be way out. And we want everyone that's coming in to feed in from this connection here, so we can now feed into the arterial, upgrade this one, change the direction. Keep everyone moving in a one-way loop. The water will eventually calm down, of course. Oh dear, is it really that bad over here? Can't really see. Yeah, it's just little tiny tidal waves that are destroying Carina Marina. I think we'll be alright. I'm getting a little bit anxious about this part of the map. It doesn't seem to be clearing, so we're going to stick a pumping service over here. So the trucks can come out and clear up some of that water for us. Actually, this would be a nice asset to use in the marina. Let's not forget this one. We'll use this over here somewhere. Alright. Nice. Here come the snowplows as well. This would also be a good place for a snow dump. Ideas. Ideas and inspiration. Why don't we go for... I actually really like the snow dump as a arterial road decoration. Again, it's got a nice kind of stone wall around it. Works nicely against your main roads. There we go. Let's throw in a couple of snow dumps. That'll keep everyone powered. Or everyone happy anyway. Let's grab some power in. Just a very brief connection for them. So with the fishing lines, you can be super optimal with them and get them so they're deadly efficient. But it's nice just to come out with a couple of little straight angles, okay? It just makes their approach in and out of the harbour a little nicer. We're going to want to delete this one too for the time being. Just because it's in the way, we will worry about where this goes at a later date. This is just a fishing harbour, so this can catch anything. Okay, so let's feed our little anchovy people out down the river down this way. Okay, sticking into that yellow. Be nice to see them come under the bridge as well. So he's already at 20% capacity, which is quite full, but that's alright. So these are now going to start feeding our fish factories, and these are going to produce commercially zoned goods, which will start fixing the goods issue, hopefully. You can see them now, they're all starting to complain. So we'll hopefully see how our little fishing harbour is going to affect Noveria's goods supply. Nice with the trains going past too, right? Speaking of trains, let's have a conversation about the cargo rail that's going to flow through this area. So we'll grab the station. Now, if we just place it on the arterial here, they're not going to be able to turn around and get on the highway. I don't really want them going down this way. So we'll have to provide a little separate road network for the cargo rail station. And I think what we'll do now is, because we know that we want the cargo rail here, we can amend the current existing road network. Okay, and let's grab an industrial road, just one way for right now. We'll come on to road guideline 2. And then let's place it probably about there. That should be a sensible distance. Yep, that's going to be fine. It would be nice if I can get the rail to move under. So let's place it here for the time being. Again, it's going to be a nice little view from the highway, add into those industrial vibes. I think I'm going to need to move this pillar though, right? Yeah, that's blocking us, so let's break that little bit of highway and allow the rail to come through first, and then just draw that back in. Nice and simple. And then we can just let this run. I think I'll allow it to go for a little while, run in parallel. Going to help keep those national passenger trains and cargo trains separate for a little while longer, which will help with train congestion. And then we want to bring this here, and just a very gentle curve in. There's also a canal over here as well, which wants to flow somewhere that comes out of the university. So again, aligning everything with our road guidelines, going to keep everyone super symmetrical. There's also train and metro that come out of the university too. Hey, we might build a little fishing town here, maybe. A little bit of residential to accompany the industrial area. Maybe on the stream. Let me know if you guys want to see a little fishing town build. Okay, yeah, that's going to be great. I really like that. Wonderful. Very nice indeed. So now we want to worry about this arterial connection again. And again, I think what we'll do is bring a road guideline connection onto that. And then let's start working with some curves in here now. That's not going to be too bad. So we're right-hand drive, so ideally we want people turning in here and then they can come back out this way. I also wonder, can we squeeze in a little connection under the highway to feed into this side of the roundabout, which is currently unoccupied? I think we can. So that's going to be okay. We will see how this junction performs. It could back up, but we'll just wait and see. Might need to amend that road network. But now it's hooked in. Let's just wait a little hot minute and just see where all this industrial traffic chooses to go, because we'll have cargo trains arriving here once it is powered. Don't tell City Planner that I'm not putting the pipes under the roads. And then give it a little power connection as well, just so it starts to function. And then we'll use this information now to decide how the rest of the network goes. So we'll wait for some cargo to arrive, and we'll be right back. Moment of truth, everyone. Cargo train has arrived. And yes, they're using the highway. It's exactly what we want to happen. We don't want all this industrial traffic heading down here. It'll just clog this arterial system, which is already pretty busy. What are we like for traffic at the minute? 88. Not bad. For 46,000. Don't really want to get in any lower than that. Okay, but these are all slowly filling up with fish. Now our fish factories are going to start producing commercially zoned goods. Very nice, and hopefully now if we have a little scan across the snow and crime-ridden city of Noveria, we should hopefully see these guys start to disappear once they get out here. And success again, people are now using this little back road, keeping our arterial system free to get back onto the highway. Let's see where a lot of these good vans are going. So you're taking goods to Mega Shopping Centre? Yes, they're importing into the downtown. Success. It works. It works. It should hopefully fix the issues now. But traffic's flowing alright. Might want to remove these traffic lights, but it's not causing an issue at the minute, so I think we'll keep them. Okay. But not bad. Let's have a discussion about some decoration palettes for the fishing marinas. So I'm thinking very overgrown, very unkept. You know, you imagine that the Noverian City Council wouldn't be sending groundskeepers out here to maintain it. It's just kind of a dirty old industrial fishing marina that just isn't maintained. So I think lots of vanilla dirt path to hook into all of our crossroads. Not that they'll get vast amounts of use because there's just not that many people walking around. And I think again lots of ore fence boxes in between these. May go for nature reserve at some points. Fencing, that is. And then lots of overgrowth, making sure that it sticks out the side of the fence. That's what we want. And then perhaps some larger rocks in here as well, with perhaps some stuntier trees that are threatening to break through in the somewhat salty earth as it's this close to the river. You guess that the river will be this salty, this close to the ocean, right? That's my justification anyway. So we'll see. But you know, ideas to explore in our detailing time-lapse, right? We can get on board with these. More goods issues over here as well. Yeah, severe goods problems. Severe goods problems. Interesting, we never had this issue in Palaven, even though we kind of took the same approach, right? There was no, or very little generic industry in Palaven as well. Okay, so let's start bringing down some more industrial road frames to start accommodating some new assets. Let's bring... I think we're probably going to want to square off a lot of this land here and keep the key running around. I think that's what we're going to do. So again, we'll come back into our terraforming and then just start slicing away at a little bit of this landmass. And then dive back into our keys, of course, with the road guideline on. And we can now align with these, and then bring this one with no snapping now, and then we want to get it as close to the canal as we can get it. Very nice. Walking path opportunities across here to keep people walking back into the city. And I wanted that asset, didn't I? This one here, the pumping service. So I think what we can use this landmass here is a nice excuse to accommodate some of our industrial service assets here, get some more snow dumps in as well. Let's have a look what else is in the water treatment tab. How are we doing for water treatment? This is pollutive, but it's not going to affect the fish, right? Probably not realistic, but we can definitely get away with maybe including some water treatment over here too. Let's get one placed in. So we'll go for Eco Advanced. And then we very nearly want water as well. So how would a water tower perform out here from an aesthetic point of view if we went for a large one? Yes, I think I can get on board with that. I think I can enjoy it. Very nice. Okay, let's get these guys hooked into the network too. You're welcome, City Planner. You are welcome. No heating. There we go, you're fine. You are fine. Okay, so you can see now just by placing in these assets we can build something of an industrial waterfront. How about a geothermal plant out here as well? Okay, let's continue to add into these quite heavy industrious vibes that are now beginning to develop on this side of the water. Where this does taint the view from a lot of these kind of desirable marina front flats, but you know, land is valuable in Noveria. Okay, let's keep this hooked into the network. It's going to keep our heating up as well. I think I'm quite keen for some tank reservoirs to appear here too. You're not going to let me come up? That's really annoying. Okay, let's see if we can move this. Let's save a couple of tiles between as well, just so we're not... So we save ourselves some room for some detailing to come through here. And then we can get in... Oh yes, please. We can get in back to back here. Nice. Let's check the measurement from back to front here. It's about 360, is it? Okay. So let's remeasure this now. So we can come in for 390 to the back of the asset. That's going to be wonderful. So let's come out by 390 again. And that's going to allow some nice back-to-back placement of some tank reservoirs. Which again, we're playing with that natural disasters on, so it's not totally essential, but I think everyone can appreciate the aesthetic vibe, right? We can maybe look at some warehouse placement as well, of course, and this is always going to be a nice time. Let's make sure, yeah, they can just turn around and come back through here. We might as well make this a continuous one-way loop as well, keep everyone moving in that direction. So with the warehouses, we can bring this in probably with some road against road action. Or frontage roads, as I've realised, is actually the name now. Thanks to a comment we had on the stream. Okay, so let's throw this out by one more tile. There we go, that's what we want. Not that though. Cool. And then we'll grab a medium warehouse to occupy this space. We will tell you to store commercially zoned goods, since that's what we're struggling with at the minute. Let's make sure that we keep a stockpile. And then complete that one-way loop, and they can come back out in this direction. Could possibly feed in a one-way connection there so they can get straight in, but we'll just see how the traffic performs. And then again, lots more opportunities now to come in with our decoration palettes for the episode of lots of ore fence. Let's run this parallel with the bridge. Okay, so even now, you know, with the addition of that canal, the asset orientation factored in of the factories and the snow dumps, we're just seeing some very heavy industrial riverfront vibes now starting to develop, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so discussing this side of the harbour over here before we move into something of a detail in time-lapse today. think we're going to include the fish market. Now, we didn't cover this in an episode, it wasn't a stream, so everyone wouldn't have seen it, so we'll have a little talk about the idea again. Let's bring this all the way out, and then again, we're going to want to maintain that one-way system. So also make sure that we're running our key in a similar fashion here too. Just level all this out. And then we'll start bringing our one-way road network down. And then let's go ahead and place in the fish market here. There we go. So again, asset orientation, always important. I think I'm happy for these kind of stalls to face out onto the water, okay? Or maybe we want them facing the marinas, which I think is what we'll do. So let's move one there. Alright. I think that's a little bit better, isn't it? Change the direction here. And then what I'm looking to do here is to save 4 tiles between the back of the fish market and the road. We're going to make a very, very small green cities district here. Show the organic and local produce specialization on it. And we have a little bit of commercial demand, so this will be fine. We now want to zone in 1x4 strips, 1x3. Ones also work as well, but mainly 1x4s. And then what this is going to do is have a chance to spawn in some of the little farmers market assets, exactly like we've done over here, okay? So it's kind of like an extension of the fish market, you know, you'd buy your kind of premium cod and swordfish, maybe a bit of lobster, even though we don't actually catch them, but we can pretend. And then maybe some kind of like smaller stuff out here, maybe a bit of fresh fruit and veg. Looking to put together a bit of a seafood meal, or some smaller shellfish are sold out of these stalls. So we can get creative with some green cities specific commercials zoning. And let's see what comes in. Of course, if you plot the growables, you can place these manually. There you go. There's one of them. This one right here, Eco Market. We like that one. You can probably keep in some of those if you want. Sam's Organic Shop, I think that'd fit in here. But you just want to just be patient and see what comes in. Looks like we're going to get one here as well. Organic Market, yes please, that's what we want. And then around the back of them, we can just come in with some very basic vanilla dirt path snapping into our grid. And this just helps flesh out the texture around the edge of those markets. You can do some mortal stuff here. Again, want to make sure that spawns in the direction that we want. Same here again too. So we can just run a little extension at the back of our fish market, okay? And I think this will be a good point to bring in the natural Noverian forest again, to bring our strength down a touch with a smaller size. Right, and then just start packing out around the interchange. And then we can trim off this supporting road over here now too. Bring down a bit of the old Aquapura. And everyone's going to be happy. Okay? However guys, I feel like that does feel like a good place to jump into a detailing time-lapse. It's time to bring our decoration palettes for the episode of very heavily overgrown industrial area into the rest of the build. Perhaps a couple more snow dumps over here, looks like we have the room for them. There's probably some more smaller warehouses in these spots, and bring some paths between them to get that very kind of claustrophobic, packed in fence between fence vibe. Trim off some of the terraforming around the edge of the quay. And bring some walking paths over as well. We'll get one over here, and then possibly feed one at this side of the river. And then probably over here as well. There's a nice spot for a walking path to come straight across. Over this way, decorate our interchange up a little bit, fill the roundabout in, maybe bring some larger rocks around these open holes. Bring this forest back in, which we've cleared out. And yeah, just flesh it out like we always do. Don't think I'm massively happy with this design. I think it just looks a little bit weird, so we'll probably adjust this as well. But it's nice to see that it's actually getting some use, which is what's important, right? Of course, these are heavy traffic drawing assets, but as long as it's not causing massive grid locks, we're okay. Which it doesn't seem to be doing. And yeah, I think what I might do is prepare that train line for next episode, if we're going to do a little fishing town or the stream. Bring the train station in to sit opposite the canal. But otherwise, let's get to detailing, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, that is going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, likes, comments and shares below really help out my channel. Even so much if you haven't enjoyed it, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. Thank you to Biffa for the inspiration for using the fish factories to satisfy those goods demand. And a little scan around the city now, all of those goods have disappeared and everyone is happy and supplied. Other news, I'm very happy with this very industrial looking fishing harbour. We've used a lot of parallel vanilla dirt path to create a lot of industrial wasteland. And there was a ton of detailing that you guys wouldn't have seen, so do hang around for the outro tag and check out quite a special view to the skyline from here as well, especially at night time. It is really quite nice. But really happy with it, lots of different assets, very industrial area, and the traffic is flowing like a dream. Definitely needed that immediate highway access. If we were funneling everyone down this industrial arterial, it would be an absolute nightmare. So just goes to show how important that highway access is for our industrial assets. But otherwise, I will shut up and I will leave it there. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.